Hello! Thanks for checking out this demonstration video for this Unreal Engine plugin, and I hope you're having a good day out there, wherever you are. This plugin networks the bone locations and rotations for all the bones in a skeletal mesh ragdoll, and it also supports saving and loading bone transforms. I've tried to make it as simple as possible. It doesn't depend on a skeletal mesh subclass or post snapshots or anything, which I'll demonstrate later. So this video is just going to be me showing off how to use it, and explaining how it works. The GitHub link to this plugin will be in the video description. Alright, so without further ado, let's get into it. You can see here I have my game set up as a listen server with 2 networked clients. And the way I have my game set up is that whenever the characters die, they just ragdoll, so let me show that off. Alright, so that's an enemy ragdolled, and you can see they just ragdoll totally fine for everyone. And they also respond to physics interactions properly. So if I shoot them, you can see them slide across the floor. Let me just walk over there so you can see. And let me shoot it on the server too, just so I can see nothing up my sleeve. And as I said before, this also supports saving and loading. So, take a good look at this guy. Just kind of arms and legs splayed out like that. If we get back into the game, you can see the ragdoll is in exactly the same position. It works for, the clients too, saving and loading. And yeah, that's basically all there is to it. Let me just really show you there's nothing on your sleeve. Do that again. And yeah, really that simple. Alright, so I'm going to demonstrate how this plugin works and how you can use it in your own project. And to do that, I'm just going to run through how to get this to work with a skeletal mesh. So I'm just going to make a skeletal mesh actor here. It doesn't matter that it's a skeletal mesh actor. You can add this to like a character or anything that you want. I'm just going to name this ragdoll test. And I'm going to give it a skeletal mesh. Looking cool, looking nice. And so this plugin comes in 2 parts. It comes with a component and an anim node that you need to do. So first I'm going to add in the component. It's called the replicated ragdoll component. And you need to make sure that it is attached to your skeletal mesh. Alright, so that's good. And as I said, the second part is that you need to add in an anim node. So to do that, I'm going to create an animation blueprint for my guy. Alright, and the node that you need to add is also just called like replicated ragdoll. And you need to add this in at the end of your animation blueprint, so like right after everything, right before the output pose. I'm just going to plug in a ref pose to that side. And on server, this node does absolutely nothing, but on client, it reads the replicated data and it interps from whatever the transforms are on the client to the replicated data over time using the interp speed. This is the only parameter for this node, and I found that like 25 is about a good number for the interp speed for interpreting to the network data. Alright, so that's set up. Let me just set my guy to use that ragdoll test node. And of course, we do need to make sure that our actor supports replication. So let me turn that on. And second to last thing here. So as I said, this simulates physics on server but not on client. So to get this to work, let me just set that up here. And let me set the mesh to simulate physics on server. And let me just emphasize this again. So whenever you use this, you want to make sure that it is simulating physics on server but not on client. The client runs the animation blueprint to interpret to that network data. Alright, so we're almost ready to test here. One final thing is that I'm going to be testing this on dedicated server, and I found that the physics don't really work unless you do one little setting here, which is visibility based anim tick options. So make sure it's set to always tick pose and refresh your bones if you're on dedicated server. So let me put this guy out here. And I'm going to play as 2 clients. Alright, so there's our guy. And, you know, I can shoot them. And that's really all there is to it. I'm not going to demonstrate saving and loading because that's just a bit outside of the scope and it's different for every single project. But I will show you what functions you can use for saving and loading this ragdoll. Alright, so we're back in the class, and the way that saving and loading works is that we call capture ragdoll, and that saves the ragdoll data to this anim data type, or this anim data variable. And then, you know, if you're saving and loading, you can just save this anim data somewhere off. If you're loading, you would set the anim data from wherever you loaded it from, and then hit apply ragdoll. I wish I could really show you how this works, but I don't have saving and loading set up with this class. I don't want to set it up with this class. So yeah, and these are really the only two functions, is capture and apply ragdoll, and these only work on server. And yeah, that's all there is to this plugin. Bye!